Rawr.
When did we all get this dumb?
Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about tax.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef.
Come on, man. Use your brain.
The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now.
Oh, yeah. It's the Why I'm Angry podcast, guys. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one.
We called this one Escaped Embryos.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're here live in the freestyle man.
Did you hold on? Did you say this one is called what now?
Escaped Embryos.
Well, I think you know Lady D's here.
There's Lady D. If you're watching the podcast, she's in the upper right. We got Jay Boots and freshly minted new host Peyton. We're gonna see how it goes. If he's not here
we'll
back
see.
next week, you'll know how well it went. So, yeah. You ready for this?
Who's excited for Christmas?
Let's
do it.
Our first kind of story is an escaped murderer, and then we're going to talk about some synthetic embryos, an album from the Rolling Stones, maybe some Spanish soccer. We're going to get into it. So, escaped murder in Pennsylvania. There's a manhunt for a convicted murderer, Danilo Cavalasante. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
It's the 8th day that they're chasing after him. They're still looking in the same area, so I think they're probably not going to find him. From what I've seen, 4 sightings of him. One was on a trail cam somewhere. Yeah.
Now, you said this was in Pennsylvania?
This is in Pennsylvania. Chester County, which is Philadelphia. We've done things in Chester.
Yep.
We almost died. But
that's a thing you could do.
We survived, luckily.
That's an option.
I have a friend there that says, "Don't go to Chester or you'll die." But we didn't die, so we're still kicking it.
Now, didn't this guy just climb over the fence?
Oh, I saw that.
Yes.
The spider guy. He spider guyed up the wall.
Yeah. That he's believed to have just gone over. Yeah.
He's like, I'm just
jumped over a roof, basically.
I'm going to 7-Eleven. I'll be back.
I'm just done with my incarceration.
He's like, I've been here long enough. I know it's a life sentence, but this has been my life. Peace out, guys.
I'm having a new life.
Yeah, he murdered his former girlfriend in front of their 2 young children.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, there was a reason he was in there.
Yeah, well, I think he left because he's also wanted in Brazil.
That makes sense.
So he's going to go serve out his time in Brazil.
So they won't find him in Brazil.
They just
no extradition. No extradition.
What I think there's a lesson to be learned here, that don't do murders in non-extradition states, because then you put you lessen your area of spaces you could go back to and hide out in.
Absolutely.
So now he's got Greece,
Dayton,
Switzerland. Dayton doesn't extradite.
Thanks, Nan Whaley.
Thanks. Yeah. So.
Well, I kind of wanted to root for the guy until I heard he was a murderer.
Yeah, so. He's definitely not. Probably. It's 2021. He's only been there a few years, so he probably hasn't really learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Especially since he just jumped a fence and walked out of jail.
He did it classily.
He's brilliant. He had a toaster and everything, and he dug a hole and
a little rock hammer.
The fence.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption did.
Yeah. He parkoured his way out.
Parkour. Oh, yeah. So there's a $10,000 reward, which seems pretty low for...
Not on 20.
It's 20 now?
Yeah.
It was 10,000.
Somebody else contributed another 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so if you find him, or you have a tip that could lead to his capture, shoot him when you find him. That's my tip.
Oh, can we bring him in cold?
That's my tip. I can bring you in hot or cold. Your question, your answer. So.
Well, what got me was the news conference that the jail did the other day. And, like, boy, you gotta love the journalists. Shout out to all the journalists in the world whose job it is to get that story. Because they asked some very good questions, and I could tell that warden was full of it. They asked how many people was watching the monitors when this happened. There was one. How many cameras does the facility have? Like, literally, this man literally planned this out. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It was an orchestrated attack.
I mean, the way he scaled between the gate and the wall and climbed up like he was Spider-Man, and then he went through barbed wire.
It's sus, as the kids would say. It's sus.
There's a guard tower right there too that they didn't see him.
Yeah, he done jumped across the roof. Like something about that don't sound right.
It must have been the same guards that Epstein.
I mean, those guards would have killed him.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a problem right now.
Maybe that was a cousin of those guards.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's a situation. 8 days. The guy's only 5 foot tall, so they're never going to find him.
No, he's gone. He's in a bush somewhere.
He's probably doing
like a
some
tree.
of those like jump kicks and stuff. Have you seen those Brazilian guys do their jiu-jitsu and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably doing some of that around some lasers and things. He's never getting found. But
they gonna find him.
I don't
Just
know.
wait on it.
They're only looking in Chester. It says they're like they got a perimeter. It's like 4 miles
Well,
wide. Like
they also
dude,
don't
been
know
gone
where
8
he's
days.
headed
Like
either.
I can walk slow and get out 8 days.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
if a bear's following me, I'm out in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, or less.
He's at Disney World dressed as an Ewok.
I bet you I bet you he's a cast
C-3PO.
member. Yeah.
R2D2
He's
and
like, I'm gonna be at Galaxy's Edge.
Well, they had his mama reach out. His mama said, "Baby, please surrender yourself.
please go
And
home.
please don't kill my son."
Listen to your mama.
Right.
I say, baby, surrender yourself and be prepared to deal with your charges. Where you gonna go? You in Pennsylvania. Where you gonna go?
I mean, how's he gonna?
Dude, they give you food every day in jail.
How's he gonna face his charges? He's already on a life sentence. Plus, he's in trouble in Brazil. So I mean.
That's why the electrocution chair exists. Sometimes you need to utilize it.
Nope. Pennsylvania is a non-execution
Oh,
state.
really?
No, I don't know actually, but I would think it sounds about right because it is a fairly liberal state. Fairly. I mean, they just elected a guy that can't talk or.
Oh, that big
form
doofus-looking
sentences.
guy.
Yeah, Fetterman.
Fetterman, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I don't think it's the same guy even.
No, it
and
doesn't
they
look
just
like
found
the same
somebody
guy.
else that can't talk either.
Yeah. He's like, here's our Prezi, Joey.
Right, and the police support me.
And he wears
Thanks.
hoodies everywhere he goes.
So yeah,
And I don't know why that's a criticism, but I am criticizing him.
and
for
shorts
wearing-
and
Shorts.
like
Yeah, khaki
he doesn't,
shorts.
He doesn't look congressional at
No,
all.
not
Like,
at all.
If he could just wear a pair of jeans
Put a
and
tie on.
and maybe even a a polo or something would be an upgrade.
Totally.
Do we have? I haven't looked up whether they have the death sentence in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They just don't choose to use it. Okay, sweet. They're not Texas, huh?
They are not Texas.
They're not Texas. So I also saw a article that says that scientists have created a human embryo-like structure grown solely from stem cells capable of developing outside of the womb for more than a week. According to the researchers' research published yesterday, the breakthrough performed without the use of sperm or fertilized eggs. It's expected to enable the study of the earliest stages of embryonic growth.
That's sweet. Good.
Don't you all comment at once?
Nothing like playing God.
like what have we created?
Period. Like, come on now.
With this embryo, what have we created? Like a human-like substance. We created AI, and then we created this. Like, did we not learn anything from Terminator? Or Terminator 2?
Or Frankenstein?
Or Terminator 3? Was there a fourth one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even the movie Independence Day, which is based on pure facts.
Oh, Jay Boos is in the house.
Just because we
Like-
can do something doesn't mean we should.
Yeah. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park.
Stick with the woolly mammoths.
Human embryo-like structures for a week.
You stood on the
Basically, they said in the article that I read that they only did it for a week because that's kind of the precursor to when the organs are starting to form. So
Right.
I don't know how they created this because they didn't fertilize an egg.
They kind
There
of cheated, though.
Was no egg, was it?
Yeah, they used an egg. That was the only thing that they had that was biological.
Oh, John
says-
Hammond had
If
No,
they got an embryo,
they
they had to fertilize
They
it.
used they didn't fertilize the egg.
Yeah, no.
They said it was used without sperm or fertilized egg. So they just used the beginnings of a regular egg. Like a
How
egg
is that
had-
possible?
How's that? Yeah.
Sciencey guys that have degrees higher than mine.
What do we call them?
Did some things with petri dishes, and some of those things that you squirt things and stuff, and aminos. I'm sure
Amino
were
acids, proteins.
there, and some proteins, and they did some things, and then some things happened.
They got one of those shake weight things.
That's the that's the scientific technical terms that I have for you.
It works for me. I'm just
Yeah,
a
I
public
mean-
school guy.
It says
Man, that's scary.
researchers reported the new structures displaying functions and cell types very similar to naturally fertilized embryos. Commercial pregnancy tests used on the samples returned positive test results.
Did they get it from the dollar store? Because those have been known to fail.
The dollar
False
store
positives.
causing people to commit suicide?
When will this be ready for over-the-counter?
Over-the-counter use for
Yeah, for yourself.
trans
Get
people
pregnant,
and
impregnate
things of
yourself.
that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is that happening? Do we have a
'Cause,
time frame?
they've already said that guys can have babies, right?
I used to joke about that, and now it's just sad.
Yeah. It's not even,
Right.
I just have to stick to my one joke about having a food baby, and that's it.
I no longer can joke about anything, but
Everyone's so sensitive.
I'm waiting on my ho-ho.
right. Yeah, I mean, this goes back to kind of like last week when we talked about what was it? It was something about creating God. Oh, it was the functioning, like putting things into your brain waves so that you could use your hands and stuff like that, or the it was the pigs.
Yes.
It was the pigs.
Uh-huh.
It was genetically engineering pigs so that they didn't have a certain sugar that would kick back in our bodies. So
I heard
they
about
could
that.
then they could create full hearts. They could create pigs for kidneys and things like that. I mean, we already use heart valves from pigs and stuff like that, and they still are, like I don't know, even if they're 50% kickback rate or whatever, but this would actually make it a lot less of a rejection rate, because they don't have that sugar that humans don't have. Most mammals have that sugar, I guess, but humans, for some reason, because maybe we were created something different. Or maybe we just evolved without that sugar that all of the other mammals somehow have. Yeah, I mean, so
Interesting.
there is that. So yeah, that it really goes back to that form of like, how far should we really go to create things? Are we really supposed to continue keeping people alive beyond their, what their expected, their natural expiration date is. Is that,
That's an interesting topic to discuss.
Is that a thing we should be doing? Like, God,
playing God?
Right.
I don't see anything good coming from it.
I mean, because I posed it last week with the kidney. Like, I have a cousin that needed a kidney and got a transplant. The transplant went bad, and so needed another transplant. She was like 16 when she first needed a kidney. So do we just like...
Okay, so now I changed my mind. But, so then we get into who lives and who dies.
Right.
Grandma is 80 years old.
Yeah.
She's got, her liver's failing her.
I mean,
do we do it for her?
Right, because now you can wipe out entire families. Entire bloodlines can be wiped out at the turn of a switch just because your genetic predisposition, they can flag it now, and they can say, oh, well, we're going to be done with reproducing this family line.
Right.
Gone.
Scary.
Yeah. That's more control.
Well, and I also have an article that says engineers developed tiny magnetic beads that produce unique optical signals when binding to different pathogens. The technology has applications ranging from blood diagnostics to detecting food contaminations. So basically they have these magnetic beads that they can either put in a substance that you would ingest yourself, or that they can use to check different like foodborne illnesses, so they can look for certain pathogens.
Huh. So they're screening our food as they're serving it up?
So this would basically go in the processing plant, so they wouldn't send out any chicken with salmonella anymore.
So they're not at Subway just scooping tuna paste.
No.
This
would be before the tuna paste.
I'd really like to see
just
that.
after they put the COVID vaccine in.
Right there. I was wondering where we were getting that from.
This is this you'll ingest, and then they'll just be able to scan you like biometrically, like with a wand. It'll be kind of like the like Star Trek.
I'm going to be the grumpiest man.
Put you on a bed and zip
I'm going to be an
Yeah.
old man. I'm going to be... I don't want that.
Yeah.
Get that out of my face.
Hey, welcome to the show.
This is why we do this in the basement. This is why we're sitting in the basement.
Right, we are here right now.
Making this podcast. So, Lady D, we were talking about the engineers have also developed tiny magnetic beads that produce a unique optical signal when binding to different pathogens. The technology basically is set up so that you can hook these little beads up to different light sources and stuff like that, and you can actually like diagnose your blood, detect food contaminants, all kinds of things like that.
What say ye?
Just a second, sorry. All right, you're good now.
Oh, I said you said a bee?
It's a bead, like
bead.
Little round beads, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ding.
Is it like similar to, how like they make them rings that they be selling that tells you like different things about your body that you can
like
wear?
your mood ring? It's
No,
definitely
it's not like a mood ring.
Perfectly like a movie.
No, I know what you're talking about. They do have some diagnostic rings and some like the cuffs and stuff like that now that'll test, do like an EKG and stuff like that. I think it would be similar, but it would be something that they would be able to put in you, or be able to so that they would be able to see like if there was an issue, or use like as a patch on you. And it would create a certain kind of optical signal, basically, so that you could see it. Again, I am not super, scientisticy, which is a technical term for I didn't go that far in school.
Testicky?
Scientisticy.
Scientisticky.
Tisticky.
Testicky. We make up words that are new.
words. So, just piling on top of our making pig hearts and embryos out of petri dishes. They had a couple weeks ago I did an article that they were doing seafood out of synthetically made seafood like they do the steaks now.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know how it's different than making the steaks other than you just make it taste different.
Is anyone eating that stuff now? Or?
Yeah, it's going through the process right now of getting USDA approval.
Is anyone that we know eating that, like chicken from California?
No. I mean, we have a host that we might add from California, but I don't think she's eating it either because she's kind of, one of those freedom-loving.
Just because you can
reproduce
chicken doesn't mean you should reproduce chicken.
Well, they're reproducing like Wagyu steaks.
Yeah. Which is fine if it's going to save me a penny.
It looks like an 8-bit, like,
it looks
Mario
weird.
steak.
It looks weird.
And it looks like if Mario was jumping up to get a steak and go, ba-ding!
I'm not interested.
That would be it.
I like my meat freshly dead, and then cooked a little bit.
This is making me angry.
Yes,
it really is.
I know you're getting frustrated.
Why do they got to fiddle with our food? Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I like an old-fashioned
because
steak.
our government doesn't care about us.
Because they say that we're overpopulated, so now we have to come up with resources. This is like Thanos, but
I like
on government.
The way that we could create the steak with the metal beads, then they could flip the switch and we were just out. We're no longer there anymore.
Yeah, you're just shut down.
We're just gone.
I'll close down for a while.
I'll shut down. Sorry.
At least get to say goodbye to people.
No.
Nope.
No.
They just turn the switch off in Washington.
You don't get loved ones in
I
the
got a dog I want to
sense.
pet.
Nope.
Nope.
Your last moments are not chosen by you.
You should have thought about that.
Just like
you
your
should have
life
spent
wasn't.
more money on ammunition.
Oh man. So the Rolling Stones. I mean, we'll go to something less mean. The Rolling Stones yesterday unveiled details on their upcoming album.
So they're still rolling.
Well, 3/4 of them.
Weren't they trying to use AI or something?
No, I guess not. They're
Somebody was trying to use AI. Who was it?
Oh, that was Lennon from the Beatles.
Oh yeah, that was the Beatles.
Okay.
The Beatles were using.
Never mind.
Yeah,
My
they
bad.
used a lot of AI to get.
I just made that up. So
No, they actually did.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's how they're making this last album for the Beatles. I mean, like 3/4 of them can't sing anymore, and half of them are dead. So
I like to make money somehow.
I like your percentages.
But yeah, they're bringing out a new album for the Beatles, and they're using AI, the voice activated AI, to cover Lennon's spots in songs that he created back before he died. But
I'm on board.
So they're gonna age his voice and everything, I think.
You're not gonna be able to believe anything.
No,
anymore.
in like
Never.
20 minutes, you're not gonna be able to believe anything because like
Google.
they have those old ladies that their kids are calling them asking for money because they got stuck in Mexico and stuff, and all they need is 3 seconds of audio,
Mm-hmm.
and they can
whip
from
it out.
there whip it out.
It's funny you bring that up because my grandma got had for that. She answered the phone and they go Grandma, and she goes Peyton, and that's all they needed to hear. And, and then luckily she called my mom and said, "Where's Peyton?"
Right.
So
and that's the problem is if you're not really thinking about it, you could be like, oh crap, he needs some cash. A lot of times though they're asking for like $3,000 or $5,000, and so like if they were asking for like $50 or something, you'd be like, okay, I'll send it to you. They'd have to do more work, but they'd probably get more money out of it and not get caught.
I'll make it so much easier. I like to sit back and push a button.
I like now that I'm getting on Google and it's right there as a prompt right in front of you. As soon as you load up the Google screen, it's like, hey, try AI. Right here it is. Try an AI search.
Load your likeness.
Yeah.
On
On my work computer, it pops up every time I open Google. It says, "Try AI."
No, at least with the Rolling Stones, they're doing two of the tracks are actually done by Tom Watts. It's Tom Watts, right? Yeah. Which died in 2019, but he recorded it before he died.
Okay.
And then the new drummer is coming in to do the rest of it. So. Yeah.
So I don't really know much about the Rolling Stones. What was their biggest hit?
I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Brown Sugar. Sheesh, this is like the best band of all time.
Yeah, they have a lot of them. Man, I can't think of something.
Whoever's
right off
watching,
the top
they're
of my
like,
head. Right, somebody is out there yelling.
They're yelling at us
at the podcast
Fix
right
it.
now.
These
Like,
guys are idiots.
you guys
The
are
comments about to go
stupid.
crazy.
Right.
Blow it up, I dare you.
Yeah, please. If you know like 20 Rolling Stone songs that
We need them listed
obviously.
alphabetically in chronological
right.
order.
Then hit me up because
I'm about to Google it.
Don't
I
Google
already
it. That's
did.
the
So
enemy.
they got it painted black.
oh yeah, Paint It. That's one of my favorites.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Woman. They did. Sympathy for the Devil. Angie. Miss You. Jumpin' Jack Flash was a good one. None of them I can play on here because I don't carry a CCLI. So sorry. So.
Oh wow! One of their songs has been streamed over 600 million times. on
Yeah, I mean
Spotify.
they're one of the biggest bands ever. So they're up there with the Beatles and Michael Jackson and Paula Abdul.
Yes. Oh, I miss her.
So
I hope we see her again.
She ain't
Probably
dead.
probably not as big as Tina Turner, but you know.
Period. Because ain't nobody got nothing on TT. Not once, but twice. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I thought you were gonna say not once but twice she died. I was like, whoo.
Now she
But,
probably did die when
talk
I
about
was
turning
with
the other
her,
cheek.
you know what? But
Right.
she fought a good fight to 2023. God rest her soul.
Did you see this Spanish soccer deal? The president of Spanish soccer, when they won the Women's World Cup, ran up and gave the winner, the goal scoring winner, like their head person, their best player, their captain, a kiss on the lips.
Too much.
And
They got
squeezed her
something going
ear.
on under wraps. He got too excited. So
He got super excited.
Is that crossing the line?
Yeah, I'm thinking
I'm thinking that's a line cross.
that
Is it?
that probably.
Okay.
Are you allowed to
So
go
he
around
in
just
trouble?
kissing women?
I mean, if you
Or even trans
score
women?
the goal, the game-winning score, you can rip your shirt off and wave it above your head with just a bra on, but you can't kiss somebody.
Is one of those victimless or is one of those a crime?
I mean, yeah.
was it unwanted?
Well, she said it was unwanted.
I have
so.
rights.
I mean, I don't know. Like, they didn't. It was kind of like a quick, spur of the moment thing, but you know, I'm sure that he's definitely going to lose his job off of this.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not sure that
Bye.
it's like worthy of like send him to jail or anything like that, but they're wanting like to bring up full on charges on him.
I could see that.
Well,
So
I mean, you can watch a football game and watch guys slapping each other's rear ends.
right.
Yeah, well, this is
Right.
guy on
yeah,
girl.
but why do men do that? Why do y'all, not y'all, but why do men like,
In a football
Why do
game,
they
that's
hit
the
each
only
other's
part of the
butt?
body that's not covered by pads.
He does.
So that's the only way you like can actually get a hold of the person. You're like, if you hit them on the shoulder and be like, "Great job," they never even felt that. But if you whack them
so
on the
you
rear,
intentionally gotta go for the butt?
yeah, I'm not wearing pads.
He's not like
How
we're not
far
getting
can
a
you
healthy
reach down? I'm not
handful.
going to
Yeah.
hit him in the thigh.
It's not sexual.
then that
We're not
sounds-
going
Nothing
in the...
sexual about it whatsoever.
No, you're just going for a quick little pat to get their attention. Is all you're doing.
job,
It's just
bro.
weird to me. Out of all the body parts you can choose to hit,
Well, what would you rather the men grab?
Not grab anything. Whoa,
Or
whoa,
touch.
whoa. I didn't say grab. I said hit.
Kind of opened the door there.
That guy,
You can go
That guy
real
has-
hard. These men lifting like 250 pounds.
On the field.
They
On
can
that
the
guy has
field.
amazing pecs. I'm
On
gonna
the
grab them.
Kabam!
Literally, like, good job, bro.
this podcast. Is
Exactly. The helmet.
Should we
you
just
know,
like
the
start
helmet.
headbutting each other? If you're in pads and a helmet, should we just start headbutting each other? Like,
Well, to Lady D's defense, they do it in baseball too.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but it's like
Exactly.
side. It's like side. It's like side
true.
leg, butt cheek area. It's not even the full cheek. It's just on the side of the leg, on the butt area.
Of all the things for you to defend, I'm
Weird.
not sure on this one. They're J boots.
Weird. Okay.
It is like it's never been something that I've been excited about doing. Like
I've
normally,
never
like,
done
I
it.
would rather headbutt the guy with my helmet to
Sure.
helmet, like just
Or just a head nod. Yeah,
smash
nice
into
job.
the guy or something like that, and be
What
like,
about a high
"Oh, great
five?
job." But nah, that's too easy. That's
That's
that,
the
Fist
90s.
bump.
that would be light. That's
That's
you like if you're in football, you're
pandemic.
really getting going, so you got to do something. I'm not sure why
I'm not
a,
even,
a
like,
slap to the butt
Truly
is,
trying to
is
defend
it,
it,
but
I'm just saying, like that's the process.
Oh, you're absolutely
you were definitely defending. you were definitely on.
So that's
the
a part of the
ball.
game, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
no one
It's-
does it at
Good
work.
sportsmanship.
Should we start it at work?
Not
Yes,
yet.
yes, definitely. Started at work. Start some good game butt slaps.
Yeah. Good game. Good game today. Out
Great.
there
Nice job.
Great
picking them
job
parts.
sitting out in that
Attaboy.
warehouse
that,
production up
in
increased.
that guard shack.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
Way to crunch those numbers.
Well, the NFL starts this week. Just just to continue that on. It starts tonight. So hopefully your
Did
fantasy
it? Who
football
played
team.
tonight?
Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos in
Can't-
Detroit, isn't it?
It's Kansas City and Detroit tonight. Yep.
I saw it.
The
8:20.
Lions and the Chiefs.
So it started. Yep, Lions and the Chiefs. Kansas City and Detroit.
And then for all you Beagles and Browns fans, they start Sunday.
Where?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much everybody else starts on Sunday except for the Monday night game.
Who's on my?
Oh, well, my bad. I watch college. Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, Roll. So I don't know anything about that. Okay.
You still got that spread offense down there?
The number one
They
offense
never-
in the
they
in the
never really
in the,
played the
in
spread.
the city. I mean, in the
They played the
state.
pro set.
Run and gun.
Yeah.
Who your team?
Who you talking to?
J. Boo.
Jay Boots is a closet Ohio State fan.
You Ohio State fan?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the matter with that?
Peyton, who your team?
The Buckeyes.
Y'all these acorns. I can't get with them.
Almost walked out of the studio tonight.
I'm a.
when
We may
I
have
picked
to
up my
start
glass.
reevaluating some of these members.
I know.
I just
know.
gotta say one thing. Wake Forest lost.
Wake Forest lost. Every time I check my phone for like a year and a half, it was Wake Forest lost for some
Wake Forest.
reason.
I'm an Appalachian
So,
State
yeah.
kind of guy.
Appalachian State. Yeah, baby.
Florida Gators.
Buckeye fans for me.
Oh, San Francisco got Nick Bosa. He signed for $170 million. 5 years.
Did he really?
Yep.
That's
A lot of money.
Highest paid defensive player in history.
That is amazing.
I'd like to have just one paycheck. That's all.
Just one.
Just
yeah.
one of those.
Just
One.
one.
Seal the
one
deal.
weekly paycheck.
That would be good.
Yep. Yep.
Dang, he's already got 19 points in my fantasy league.
Who does?
Team
Bosa?
Holicky.
Oh man. So class action lawsuit against ABC and ESPN for or against Charter Communications for blacking out ABC and ESPN for the weekend.
Oh. Wow.
DirecTV
Because
need
they
to be
didn't
on that
sign
list
the
next
contract.
with
Oh.
ABC and ESPN is basically holding all of the like
That's where I watch
Cable
all my
companies.
sports, though.
Wait. Here's how
hostage.
big a deal this is. I didn't even know.
That's right. Like I didn't either because I don't use Charter or Spectrum. Because I told the lady to pound sand when she came to my house. And she offered free internet. I'm like, you could pay me, and I wouldn't take your internet. And
Yeah,
she's
get
like,
out of here with that.
She had no clue what was
Get
going
out
on.
of
But
here.
anyhow, yeah, they basically won't sign the contract because they say Disney, who owns both ABC and ESPN, is holding those group of channels hostage. Which I've told people for years, eventually you will not have a cable company at all.
No.
It will be like it already is, where you grab Peacock, grab Paramount, HBO, whatever, and you'll stream it. And they can get away with that. It will be legal because you won't have the TV channels. So you won't have to bundle everything together.
Yeah.
And things of that nature.
The Great Divide.
So, I mean,
Great
right now
separation.
there's laws and stuff that you have to bundle so many channels together, or you have to have so many different options, and that's why they have it. But nobody watches on air anymore. Nobody watches through a cable anymore, really.
Unless it's MeTV, Andy Griffith.
Right, but you can get that on Pluto.
Can you do they still have the free air TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
All you need is an antenna.
Yep. And a TV that has a
digital switcher,
converter antenna in it. Yeah, control.
But when you think about it, though, in the very beginning, when all these streaming services and stuff started happening, the rule was, or the thing was, get rid of cable, cut the cord, and sign up for the streaming services. So, if anything, anybody who is the spectrum in the charter communications, whatever, they really should just go ahead and discontinue.
The problem is that they have their own streaming service also, and so in their streaming service they blacked it out also.
Oh, I didn't know they blacked it out on the streaming service too.
Yeah, they blacked it out across the board, and rightfully so. The company didn't want to drop their deal. They're not going to pay for it, so they just didn't show them.
Oh, I see. So the cutting the cord was more of a metaphysical thing. Oops.
I wondered why the bills kept coming.
That was the saying, cut the cord.
It was.
Whatever.
Still, I mean, they say that cord cutting, there are 60% of people out there do not have a cable company anymore.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of the 60%.
So
me too.
They say they've lost 60% of the market share.
I pay for Peacock, Paramount, Netflix.
Hey, let me get that Netflix password.
Let me get that Netflix. Let me get that real quick.
We literally dropped to Netflix. I mean, they don't stand for anything good.
No, they got junk content.
Terrible content, and then they decided to fight against multiple screens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they lost that war.
Yeah,
That's straight consumerism at its finest.
So.
Yeah.
So are they gonna come? Do they foresee them coming to an agreement to carry the station, or is this gonna just be like how, because right now if you're a direct TV customer, you don't have NBC and you haven't had it for months.
I would think they would, but it could be like the NBC. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could come down to that kind of thing.
Well, everybody who is a charter customer anyway, you need to get rid of it. DirecTV sponsor us.
That's right. Anybody sponsor us at this point.
Period.
Smuckers.
Apple sponsor us.
Smuckers.
We'll take a Smuckers endorsement.
We'll take Heinz.
Jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that.
Right.
What are those little taffies that you get?
Laffy Taffy.
That's it. Can we get a sponsor from them?
Airheads, Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka.
No, we need a Reese's or a Hershey.
I need a Wonka sponsorship.
Hershey.
Like yesterday.
That's right. That's right.
You know, Wonka's not a real company, right?
That's BS. You're just making stuff up. You can't just sit on the podcast and make stuff up. That's my job.
Just saying. There is no guy with a top hat.
Yeah, Gene Wilder.
Wilder.
Who was the new one? It was,
He don't even
Johnny
know.
He did the guy, the Blazing Saddles guy.
Yeah, Wonka Candy Company is a candy company. It doesn't exist as a candy company standalone though, because it's Nestle. Nestle owns everything.
Yep.
If you don't know, Nestle owns Nestle is the largest food company in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They own the Cheez-It.
They own the Cheez-It. They own Wonka. They own the Oreos. They own
COVID vaccines.
just about everything.
They own the COVID vaccines?
They actually do have a.
Do they own Pepperidge
like
Farm?
Pfizer or something like that?
Let me ask you all
What's that?
something. Do you all
Do they
drink
own what?
Nestle water bottle?
Pepperidge Farm.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Who is they all need the same umbrella together. Can't
Do
think
y'all
of the
think
name.
that there's a difference in quality of water when you go to the store to make a selection for your water consumption, and you see all the different brands? Do you think there is a quality difference in your water?
Mine actually
As
says
a
it.
professional water drinker,
It says there is.
there is.
Okay.
If you,
Mine's got electrolytes and minerals in it. So
Not too far.
right.
So joke's
Hold on,
on
is
you.
that Costco water?
Is that the Costco
What
water?
brand? Is that Kirkland?
This is Speedway. Speedway smart water knockoff.
Okay. Costco sponsor us.
Costco sponsor.
We
We're
support
not
all
just-
Kirkland brands.
We're now just crying out for sponsors.
Asking for sponsors.
I think Pepperidge Farm is on its own.
Oh.
For now.
It's its own deal.
For now, till we conglomerate.
Yeah, till Nabisco buys it.
Yeah.
Either that or they just their shadow bought it.
National Biscuit Company.
So, yeah. Oh, let's
Peyton, you wanted to
see.
talk about that asteroid headed for Earth, didn't you?
Actually, that was not on my chart.
Not
Oh,
on
okay.
I did want to talk about the judge throwing out they're making Texas take the buoys out of the river.
Oh,
And
yeah. Let's dive into
I
that.
would like to see the Alamo again. Is what I would like to see.
You mean
absolutely
a
want to.
refresh on the whole war,
Mhm.
on the whole battle,
I think we need to retake that up. Yeah.
with the same type of weaponry, or can we use something modern?
We probably ought to get rid of the cannons. Maybe upgrade a little bit.
Maybe upgrade.
Wow. Can we use Sabo rounds?
All right, so catch us up.
So I guess a federal judge looked at the case okay, back up a little more. Texas was putting buoys in the river between Mexico and Texas,
I like it.
so that migrants could not get across the river.
Right, unless they had been on an episode of So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually that was one of the main sections that they were entering Texas.
Yep.
And so the federal government sued them, said you can't do that, and then Texas said, oh yes we can, watch us. And so they went to court, and a federal judge said you cannot do this, it's against the law, you got to take those buoys down.
A federal judge said that.
Yeah.
Like what law?
What
is
nerve
it?
does he have?
And I don't know what law. I'm guessing is that in the Constitution it says the only one that can protect the borders is the federal government. So
Yeah, well, they're the Republic of Texas.
exactly. They're not even. Yeah, they could be a country for all.
They'll recede if they want.
I'm heading down there if they become.
Let's
a country.
go. We're moving this show to
Sure.
Texas.
So
So the court ruled that finds that the barriers threaten are a threat to human life. It's an impairment to free and safe navigation, and it's a contradiction to the balance of priorities Congress struck in the RHA, and that outweighs Texas's interests in implementing its buoy barriers.
Interesting. Did we get Putin to weigh in on this at all? You know I had to bring him up, right?
yeah. No, I think he's sleeping.
Yeah.
No, I want so much for Texas to say, come and get the buoys,
Yeah.
please. I want to see you do it.
I'm with you on that.
I just want to see him. I just want to see him say that.
Yeah.
I would feel so warm inside.
I don't think that the federal government has any jurisdiction down there. Not even, they shouldn't even have jurisdiction at the border.
Well, I mean, the federal government should have jurisdiction. It should be its one job is to protect us at the borders. Like that should be the one job that the federal government does. Like if you wanna strip it all down to the basics, the federal government should keep our borders, and shoot people that want to shoot us.
In a perfect world, that should be the way it is.
That should be the deal. And then they can, go to work once a couple months a year, come back and work their jobs like they were supposed to, and not make hundreds of millions of dollars and things of that nature.
I just don't understand why everything gets tied up in litigation and legislation, and why does America think that they need to police the world?
I think only one side really believes that. When I say side, I mean there's a bureaucratic side, and then there's like working Joe side.
Sure.
And the bureaucrats make a lot of money off of policing the world.
Yeah.
Where we're just trying to afford gas. So.
Yeah, gas is $3.61.
So yeah, I mean that's just talking to the mic.
Oh, okay.
So
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. When you point towards, when you're talking to the rest of us, we lose you a little bit. So and we want to hear what you have to say, because it is important that, yeah, like you said, we have turned the business side of this into more of a, or the art of war into a business. I mean, that's it. Is that, how did we get out of the Great Depression? We got into war.
That's where they figured it out.
That's honestly.
Like, let's do this again, Korea.
We had issues even in even in World War I. We were having issues with our economy and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so, get into war. You turn everything. You focus on creating one or two things that you're going to sell to whatever, other countries, and you're also going to use all, if we're creating ammo and we're shooting it up like it's, water, then
or ivermectin,
we're making it work. So create a turmoil, and then how.
But that's capitalism at its finest.
One of the things that I saw the other day is how do you control a country, or how do you control the world, is to create manageable conflict.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sell some guns.
So Russia and Ukraine, it's manageable. There's not, unless Russia decides to go into Bulgaria or Poland or something like that, which I've heard tale that that's their plan. Then there would be something more there. Yeah. But if it's just Ukraine, then it seems like it's more of like, Russia's trying to take over their own little territory back. Basically, if Mexico came and attacked Texas or something like that, I mean,
that would be silly.
It'd be a little different, but
But I understand.
Right. Yeah. So.
Now I kind of want that to happen.
I was thinking Canada.
Yeah.
No, just Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Just Trudeau. I don't.
So.
Yeah, I don't need that. I'm not afraid of you. If you're listening, Trudeau.
Well, we just got canceled in Canada.
I love Canada. Most of the time.
So, I mean, this goes back to it. Like, are they going to do the same thing to the wall because it stops people from coming in?
They've been taking it down slowly.
Should they then if they just put a little like walk through in the barriers? Is that cool? I mean, these barriers are like, they're not that big. I'm like, you could pretty much rollerball over them.
Yeah,
they're not like the water mines that they put in World War II for subs and stuff like that for Germany. I mean, that would be sweet though.
That's a whole other level.
Be sweet.
Yeah.
Just sitting them there, you touch them, everything goes, the whole line goes.
I feel like last year Russia was trying to do
the
something
river
like
up.
that.
I think that
Oh, that was in my coloring book.
That was my Russia coloring book. You're so dumb.
so the country's already at a tipping point between two sides or three sides or four or whatever, and we're all getting ready to just a powder keg ready to explode.
Right.
And I think that one of the two places that it's gonna happen at is gonna be at the border, probably with this. Texas is finally gonna stand up against the federal government, and it's gonna go out of the courts. It's going to be like the Alamo in my mind. That's just a fantasy. But then the other one would be these masks that they're trying to repush on us. Is that people are going to start saying, no, I'm not doing it.
Right.
Correct. I'm not doing it.
And then that's going to be another stand. So the federal government's gotten way too much power. And
Do you think though that there are still people out there that will stand up again? Like, it's one thing to say, I'll get, when they come to take my guns, I'll stand and fight. It's another thing to stand and fight when they come to take your guns.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's one of those deals where, like, have we gotten to the point where people are actually energized enough to stand and fight, or lose their life for this, or are they, at some point it feels like you have to make that stand, but have we gotten to that point?
No, we haven't gotten to that point. We've gotten to the point to where people are might be willing to lose their jobs.
A few.
And that's where it starts. It'll be the jobs, it'll be losing, an income, and then you're getting desperate, and then you get it to the point where you just spoke about.
Right. Because, like, I know some people, and I've actually talked to one guy, and he said, it would be something to stand at your door and fire the rounds off, but he goes, at that same point, if I were to stand at the door and fire off my rounds, my life is over.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, my life is over, and the time I can spend with my family is done.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he goes, at this point in my life, I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah.
And not that he was at a point of handing over his guns, but he was at the point of, to have guns that you would use to do that.
Yep.
He goes, it just doesn't seem like something that I really need to invest in, because I'm probably not going to stand for that.
Wow.
I can see that side of the
So that's always
argument.
been kind of my question is are you of the mindset that, this is the hill that you die on? And when we talk about it, we've talked about it at, I've heard it in the church setting, is this the argument that you're ready to put your heels in? Is this finally the hill that you're ready to die on?
Yeah.
And I guess you gotta, if this is the hill you're ready to die on, there has to be some preparations in your mind that that you've come to Jesus, and you've come to this point of, I'm willing to put it all on the line for that.
If it helps perpetuate the gospel of Jesus, then in my opinion, it's worth it. If standing up to a tyrannical government helps perpetuate the gospel, the story of Jesus, the love of Jesus, and you can do it in such a fashion where you're demonstrating Jesus to people, because the Bible says 365 times, do not be afraid. Fear not. Some way is told you every day, every year, to not be afraid. So if you take the armament of the Bible and you apply that to your daily life and against a tyrannical government, then you have something worth dying for.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about as serious as I'll get right now. Was that too preachy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sitting here, ready to
Where's
take
my
up
flag?
arms and.
I got my SIG in the truck, so I'm ready to roll.
So, after that, you got any more you want to?
No,
That's all. I think that's. I think
That was a
that
great
that,
topic.
that really goes into it. Is you know, as our government, why is our government not protecting its people by, instating these? Why are we protecting the people that are trying to come in illegally? Because they aren't legal citizens. That we're worried about their human rights when they honestly on our ground have no rights. Because they're not, they have the right to go home or go back to their country because they haven't come here legally. And if you go to any other country illegally, they're going to detain you, and they're going to either kick you out forever or for a extended period of time, or they're going to shoot you out, send you out. If you go to North Korea illegally, that dude's in prison, and we may never see him again. I don't know what his deal was, but or they're going to shoot you on the line right there. They're just, it's over. So, it doesn't seem like it's too much to ask for a country to
no. But you're speaking legally like they're following the law and they intend to follow the law, or they're just trying to skirt the law or whatever. But this is obviously orchestrated. So the borders are wide open.
Right.
So many people coming across.
Right.
Is it that they just don't want borders anymore, which they've stated, the Democratic Party have mentioned that? Is it that they want more voters? Is it, there's all kinds of theories of why the borders are open, but it's definitely not legal.
Is this pushing it to the a one world government that is in hush tones right now across the world?
That's how it'll end up. You're already seeing it. The U.S. dollar is no longer, it's not the center of the world anymore. It's now not being traded in different countries. We talked about it last podcast that, really that is the biggest thing that is a threat to our country, is that they've deregulated the U.S. dollar, basically. They print it like it's
going out
just
of style.
Paper, and they decided not to worry about trading it. These, this BRICS coalition, or whatever you want to call it, has decided not to even take the U.S. dollar, so you can't even come and trade with them.
Right.
Which most of those countries we have embargoes and stuff on anyhow. We're not trading our dollars
the communist
there
bloc.
anyways ourselves, but yeah. So, but yeah. So, let's see.
Was that
what else we got?
Was
I got
that a line
Mexico.
in the sand?
Yeah, pretty much it's going to be. Mexico Supreme Court strikes down federal law criminalizing abortion.
Strikes it down.
Yep, struck it down.
All right.
So they're ruling that nationwide criminal penalties for the procedure are unconstitutional and violate women's rights.
Sounds about right.
Yep. So I guess we're the example for the world. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Only a win in our column.
So.
Well, I'm only a man, so I don't have an opinion.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have a vote. So this, you guys see this? This Kathy Free, in 1951, she was working in an egg factory, and was packing eggs into cartons, and doodled on one of the eggs, "Please write me."
Aww.
Yeah, and then put her address, and someone 57 years later responded.
Found the carton of eggs.
Wait, was it on the egg or the carton?
It was on the egg.
So that egg was 50-some years old?
Yeah, 50-some years old. And someone finally sent her a thing. Yeah.
She must have wrote it in Sharpie.
Yeah. So, check it out. There it is. The
Look
egg.
at that.
Written,
It looks perfectly good.
right. Like,
I'd cook that.
yep,
No, you wouldn't.
yep.
It's already cooked.
That
No,
egg-
what I'm saying
that
is I'm
is
too
good.
stupid to figure that out, and I would accidentally cook it. Just kidding.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
So that's like the update to the note in the bottle.
Yeah, that's basically what she did. She threw a note in a bottle.
I'm gonna go home and do
somebody
that.
finally, 72 years later.
I'm gonna go to work and find a part, and I'll write my address on it, and
Yeah.
it's gonna get shipped out to Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
So she's still alive.
Yeah, I guess she's still alive. She's now 92. She said she did 4 or 5 eggs. She was bored packing eggs, and
That's like the old.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to let balloons go when we were
yeah,
in school?
yeah.
And then a farmer would send it back and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I found your balloon. Got
Thank
caught
you.
up in my discs."
Thanks for littering.
Yeah.
Thanks for killing my cow. Right.
It's all right. That cow's polluting the ozone.
Yeah. So I guess nobody like actually wrote her anything, but they did put it on the news that someone found it.
Huh.
So 71
Aw.
years later, yeah. Feel good, right? Feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Special Counsel David Weiss intends to seek a grand jury indictment against Hunter Biden on gun charges this month.
Sweet.
What?
He's
It won't
innocent.
stick.
Mm-mm.
He's innocent.
Nope, he ain't do it. Nope.
Are you in love with him?
Hey, he's a pharmacist.
Friend.
I'm telling my mom.
And then prosecutors in Fulton County, Georgia election interference case plan to call at least 150 witnesses at trial, which means 150 witnesses, probably 150 days. That puts you right about election time. Yeah, this would be perfect.
Yeah.
Convenient.
2 of the 19 defendants head to trial in October. I don't know why it was exciting, but that was something they said. But so yeah, it doesn't seem coincidental. The time frames don't seem coincidental at all to me.
They're not even trying to hide it anymore.
No, they don't care.
They don't care.
It's just flagrantly
It's
in
just-
your face.
Yeah, try to stop us.
Yeah.
That
Paleontologists.
DA has been cleaning house all year long.
Now, when you say cleaning house, people that are trying, how do you mean that?
Meaning whoever it was that gave her her little extra bonus back in 2022 said, make sure you get these people on this list because she been getting them. Like, she done had a RICO case turned around. Now she got Donnie and his people. Well, maybe. I don't know. He innocent. Free Donnie. He innocent too. But literally, whoever it was that said we need to take care of that, she been doing it this year. She has been doing her job. I'll give her that one. Now, how well she been doing it, we don't know yet because she ain't really went to a whole lot of trials. Yeah, or they haven't started yet. But she been cleaning house. She coming after some people.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
I saw a meme the other day, and it had Pol Pot, it had Stalin, it had Hitler, and it had Mussolini, and then it had Joe Biden, and it said all these leaders have arrested their political opponents.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
it was like, wow.
that's like no one even thinks about that though. They like no. This is 100% using the FBI as the Gestapo. I mean,
I've been saying it for
100
months.
The IRS and the FBI have been turned into
Yep.
a military. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Great job.
They'll come get you.
Making America great again. Oh.
Build back better?
That's definitely a question.
The
Definitely
BBB?
The Better Business Bureau?
It's always been the Better Business Bureau.
I thought we were building something.
Which is more effective, the Build Back Better plan or the Better Business Bureau?
I think the Better
Because
Business Bureau is more effective.
The
The
Inflation
Better
Reduction
Business
Act.
Bureau does nothing but says you got a bunch of stuff against you.
Yeah.
And then the Build Back Better plan goes, we're going to do some stuff against you.
Yeah, against you.
Grab
It's
your
like
ankles. It's coming.
It's like they were designed to be in cycle together.
Lay down so we can build back better on you.
Yes. Also, take the trash out.
When you're done, suck a little basura.
Saka la basura.
Paleontologists discover 150 million year old bird-like dinosaur fossil.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah. It's one of the earliest such specimens discovered. The finding, though, raises questions about the evolutionary timeline
Uh-oh.
of certain dinosaurs turning into birds during the Jurassic period.
Yes, that was a very common regular conception.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely raising some questions.
Man, I like it. Can you send me that link?
Yes.
Thank you. I fancy myself somewhat of a
This is kind of the new
Engine
headlines
operator.
I've got.
Engine operator.
Let's go through the mailbag.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Mailbag.
Mail call. Come and get your mail.
We talked about that one.
You've got mail.
Study finds kids who play organized sports read have better thinking skills.
Because reading is fundamental.
We haven't found too many of those kids that can play organized sports and read, but you know,
This blew my mind.
this is not the season for that. So
No.
I'm pretty sure that the college football and college basketball has perpetuated the whole student athlete non-educational system deal. So.
They're just waiting on their endorsement, right?
Well, they're not even waiting on it anymore because
Yeah,
of the NIL, the name, image, likeness deal.
Oh.
They can Blake Corum from the Michigan,
Yeah.
$1 million deal.
Yeah, they're talking to these
Just because
kids
he was
before
born.
they-
So
Yeah.
no, well, just because he's playing college football.
Because he went to college.
Yeah, because he went to college ball, and some of these guys are leaving. Like there was a couple. There was the one of the Michigan quarterback backups. He went to Maryland, and they offered him the $1 million right out, like $1.5 million.
Really?
for it. Yeah, that's what they're doing now. Is they're basically offering you so much money. Alabama offered the guy from Notre Dame, their backup quarterback, because they're having so many quarterback issues. They offered him $1 million.
Who having quarterback issues?
Well, they're not. They seem like they may have figured it out, but at the beginning of the season, the two quarterbacks they had, they were not happy with.
Well, we have a new team this season. Listen, when you speak on the Alabama University,
No one can
you
be
need
Yeah, I don't
to
think
some
that that's
respect.
possible.
Thy? Thy?
The Ohio
Is
State,
it
yes.
thy Alabama.
The University
I'm sorry, Tim
of
Tebow.
Alabama. Okay.
King James version up in here.
King James version of
Anybody
Alabama.
under the direction of Nicholas Saban.
T.
Put some
Saban.
respect on our name.
Well,
But are you from Alabama?
It don't
The
matter if I
banjo
am
on
or
my
not.
knee.
Yeah, I'm from. Yup, sure am. Born and raised. I'm from the dump.
just
I find
so,
that not credible.
just so I don't have to argue with you. I'm from Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama, to be exact.
I'm sorry.
So this is a couple weeks old. This is not to leave this lovely argument, but this is a couple weeks old. A 12-year-old boy was booted from class for the Gadsden flag patch on his back.
Oh, I saw
You
that.
see that?
The what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gadsden flag is the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. with the coiled snake,
Yep,
the
yellow flag.
Never seen it.
Destiny,
Google it.
get on your horse.
That's not my name.
It is Lady D.
Lady D.
So it looks like this. Wait a second. I got to do a thing and hit a button. So it's this one.
Okay, so what's the significance of this flag?
Its origins are based in slavery.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Was it
thought it
from
was a
my
battle
people
flag.
slavery or somebody else in slavery?
It's actually the origins are based on states' rights, and it's from the Revolutionary War. So it kind of dates before the argument of slavery, but I guess you can say anything is based on slavery, and that's it. You just take it out of schools and.
That's so funny to me because when I was in junior high, I had a teacher who had an 8x6 size foot flag hanging clearly and proudly, the "Don't Tread on Me" flag in the classroom. He was a social studies teacher, and I was like, "That's cool. I like your flag." He was also a Marine, I believe.
Yeah, it's a military approved flag.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with the flag. If the teacher looks bad because she kicked the student out of school, they have to come up with something. So that's the most readily available excuse. Yeah. Has nothing to do with slavery. It's a revolutionary.
Yeah.
We as we want to be a new country, so don't tread on us.
Right.
So.
I mean, it's the state flag of New Hampshire, isn't it? I think it has some of that in it. The state flag of New Hampshire does, but so I guess the Confederate flag is part of some other state like the Alabama or Georgia
South Carolina.
or South Carolina.
No, South Carolina
Alabama.
took it down.
Probably definitely Alabama.
Well, here it is on the
It's
Texas
South
flag.
Carolina. That's right. Go learn your history.
Hey, they were the first to recede.
But anyhow, recede. South Carolina has a terrible baldness problem.
Actually, I think they also did use it also in Alabama, though. Y'all right.
At one point.
I see it here on Texas and Florida. So.
But at the same point, you can say that the Confederate flag stood for, slavery, or you could say it stood for, the invasion from the North. That they're not, that if you go down south and you ask them why they fought. It was overwhelmingly. It wasn't blacks versus whites. It was whites versus whites. I mean, it was because the North had imposed not just slavery laws, multiple different kinds of laws, and trade policies, because states had trade policies at that point. It wasn't like you just went across the state lines at that time. There was a lot of different historical things that you had to go through to get, we didn't have a whole lot of trains or a big trucking system or anything like that. So commerce between states was a highly contested thing, and the U.S. government had just basically come through and created a bunch of laws. And so, the Civil War, although the some of the final outcomes were, freedom and slavery and different things of that nature, all of the things going on at that time had created, like you said about the border and stuff, a powder keg that we were willing to literally fight brother against brother, uncles against, other family brothers and stuff like that. And, you were willing to fight anyone that said anything against your side, or that was born across the river.
Yeah.
And it didn't even matter that if they believed or not, they were born over there, so that's it.
Yeah.
It's things you can't control.
Right.
And that's what's worrisome in our country now is you're willing to fight and defend something that you never started.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't control where you were born, or you didn't control how you were born, or who you were born as.
Well, Chuck
And
Norris
so-
did. So.
Well, Chuck Norris was aside. We'll all have to fight him someday, as in the boss battle.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what's scary about even today.
Yeah, and it's so the parallels are so close when it comes to the powder keg
Right.
and the galvanized sides.
Oh, it's so galvanized.
And it's
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm not being derisively.
The problem with what they're trying to do is to take everything that happened during the Civil War away, eliminate all that history.
What history?
Humans should not be enslaved, and the founders
True.
knew that.
100%.
They wrote it into the Constitution, knowing that eventually this is going to happen.
Well, they shouldn't be physically shackled,
No,
but you're mentally slaved.
well, yeah. I mean, that's what they want you to be, but that's the slavery.
Yeah,
that
you
we-
better
we-
have cleaned that one up. Go ahead.
that is the slavery that we've come to, even with the school system. I mean, you think about it, we've even talked about what they do and don't teach anymore.
Yeah.
Like in the North, we didn't learn all of the separate reasons why the South rose up and fought. It was that there were trade barricades, before they actually fought, they had embargoed against certain states.
Mm-hmm.
That they could, that others, that an alliance of other states would not trade with them, and so they were basically bankrupting certain states because they didn't have the same moral compass. They didn't have the same. They were looked down upon, and things of that nature, and so they rallied their group of states and decided to fight. There wasn't anything else to do about it. And so we didn't learn any of that in history class. We learned it was about slavery.
yeah,
And that was it.
Yeah.
And it was. And that's probably the biggest thing that came out of it, other than the unity of the, how many states were around at that time, 30, 40 some states. But
not to mention 64,000 people died to free slaves.
right.
So
Brother against brother.
Brother against brother. Not other country. Not that we, not storming the beaches of Normandy, shooting down, French and Japanese and German troops.
Literal blood related
Literally,
brothers.
my brother born on the other side of the river.
Just because
my
his
uncle
mom was
born
over there one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. That's what's crazy about the Civil War, man.
So-
This is nuts. Nuts.
Telling you.
Just because
Someone's-
his mom was over there one day.
Yeah, one day.
Well, you know how women get pregnant
He's not-
sometimes.
He's not a West Virginian. He's a Virginian.
I just someone send me a fruit basket. Jeez. I can't think straight.
Oh man. I guess we got to the totem pole last week.
You're funny.
I try. You got any of them there Florida man stories?
Man, I do not this week.
And I saw one in the news.
Did you?
Yeah.
did you guys see the alligator some guy killed? It was huge. It was like the biggest alligator on record. And it was in Florida.
It's always something crazy happening in Florida.
So
They
Burning
never
Man
act
got
right.
flooded out.
Saw that.
I was trying to find it real quick.
Yeah. You see, France had to throw out 80 million gallons of wine
Why?
read this a week ago, so I don't remember.
Are we?
Basically, it's going bad.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Wine
So
goes
who's
bad.
somebody to
Yeah,
drink it?
basically
We have a party.
they can't get it into bottles fast enough. They're not selling enough wine, so by destroying it, they actually make the wine that they have more valuable. So it's going to cost the nation about $216 million, ruining about 100 Olympic swimming pool size pools worth of wine. That was
Oh,
a
them
weird
great.
sentence. Why did they even write it that way? But yeah, the reason is they're making the wine is getting more expensive, and they can keep the prices up. Because if they had these 90 or 80 million gallons of wine sitting on shelves, then they have to drop the prices of it. So
it's like the cartel.
yeah, basically it's the French wine cartel.
Sweet.
Yeah, wine consumption is actually plummeting since its peak in 1926.
But it's not just Merlot.
Nope, not Merlot. Well, French wine, basically, the consumption of French wine. Everywhere else, there's wine now. So you think about it, some of my favorite wines are from Washington because they're sweeter and stuff like that. You can get a Merlot that's like super dry out of France, or I can get one that I really like out of, Washington, and then I don't have
somewhere closer.
Yeah, then it's American made, probably by communists because it's either in Washington or in California. But either way, it's communist close to home, and
that makes it better.
Communist in France,
no one likes a French
which I
communist.
still think is a sore subject with France.
Yeah, I think they're upset about it.
They're
But
still not happy about being labeled that from World War II.
Communist?
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, I think it's a sore subject, the whole World War II and their part in World War II.
I'm still trying to get over the revolution that they failed at.
I'm still happy that they helped us in the revolution, because George Washington was about to call it quits.
Yeah,
he was like,
I'll give him
throwing
that.
in the towel.
I'll give him that.
And these
all I'm
French
giving 'em
ships
now.
came over and were like,
you don't like Washington?
"Oui, oui."
Bunch of frogs.
Right.
You don't like Washington?
I love Washington.
Oh, okay. You don't like the French.
French. Yeah.
It's true.
But they have the Eiffel Tower over there.
Yeah, they do have that.
Have you seen it?
Did you find your Florida man?
I saw it at King
I
Island.
did. I found a
All
story.
right, got the Florida man. We can finish off on the Florida man and be ready to be out.
Florida man arrested after trying to cross the Atlantic in a human-powered hamster wheel. A man from Florida was trying to cross the Atlantic in a human-powered hamster wheel. Was arrested by the United States Coast Guard, according to a court document. Reza Baluchi was 70 miles off the Georgia coast when officers found him during a manifestly unsafe voyage while Hurricane Franklin was headed toward the area.
Going to the perfect storm.
The Coast Guard said Wednesday in a statement on. Oh, it was reported on Facebook by the Coast Guard. Was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys. Bellucci was arrested August 28th as a bizarre 3-day standoff with authorities.
This is great looking.
At one
This
point,
sounds like
Bellucci,
fake news.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's super credible because it's from NBCnews.com.
NBC picked it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, did he have his clothes on? Because it's not a real Florida man
It's
story.
not a Florida man unless he.
He had 2 knives and threatened to hurt himself.
For real.
Yeah. He refused to get off his boat, and he's all quoted as having 2 knives and will hurt himself.
Like
I'm gonna do it.
For one, like this guy planned this out pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
This wasn't like, but then that part sounds like he just like barricaded himself in. And,
Right.
Like, did you really plan this out? Or like,
He also threatened to blow himself up, at which point the Coast Guard officers on site contacted the Navy to determine the location of the alleged bomb, but Baluchi later revealed the bomb was not real. Duh.
like, where did you just randomly find a bomb?
I just made a bomb real quick, guys.
in the ocean.
Over here.
Oh man.
He was trying to get to London by hydropod, is what he's quoted as
From
saying.
Florida?
From Florida.
I mean,
Florida.
like,
That's a long
talk
walk.
about taking the long way.
Yeah, they have
plus, yeah, he's spinning, so he's walking there.
they have airplanes now, guy.
I wonder if he
No, we gotta talk about the plane incident
Okay.
on Delta with the diarrhea.
Oh,
boo.
no. It was a hazardous situation.
It was extremely hazardous, and somebody released video. It was bad.
Which didn't need released. We all know what diarrhea looks like.
No.
But they were trying to make it to the toilet, but they were just having a lot of digestive problems. And on the way to the toilet.
The whole length of the plane.
Yeah.
From Atlanta to Spain.
They had to rip up the
Can y'all
carpet in the
imagine
thing.
being on that plane?
I don't want to.
Like walking,
I'm an American. I have rights.
You have to walk off of that plane. There's only
I
one
was
way.
hitting my button like, y'all need to land this damn plane right now.
Get the air masks or something.
Pull
Give
the
us
cord.
the oxygen.
Pull the cord. Get this bus to pull
I
over.
would've popped out
I'm
that
definitely
extra
putting my
cord
mask
and
on
said,
before I
I'm
put my
gonna
small
take
child's
this
mask on.
This is
Oh
an
man, that's
emergency.
so gross.
Yeah.
8-hour delay.
Yeah, they were halfway to where they were going to
Yeah.
Europe and turned around. The pilot's like, I am not going any further.
Can't go any farther.
We are going home.
The
I will turn this bus around.
flight crew doing their best
you
to
know,
mop it
like,
up,
on the
mop up the
plane,
mess with
smells
paper
travel.
towels.
Like from the back to the front, so the pilots can
Yeah.
really smell everything that's going on.
Right.
So you know it hit the cockpit and it was a done deal.
They,
Immediately turned around.
Poor
they,
guy.
they were trying to mop the mess up with paper towels and
Oh.
scented disinfectant.
They had all type of little what they call them things that like the little pads that the puppies pee on, like the little training pads.
Puppy pee pad.
They had
Pee pads.
them trying to cover up the mess.
Oh
It
my
was bad.
goodness! It smelled like, they said it smelled like vanilla scented crab.
Well, that's not so bad.
I'm not ever going to Spain ever again.
Not going on a flight from Florida,
Glad I
It's your first ever
last night.
thing.
from Atlanta.
Did he not know he was like diabetic or something? Or like why did he poop his pants?
Well, they
Probably had
the
IBS
person
or
had been
something.
having like digestive problems,
Yeah.
like explosive diarrhea.
And there was somebody in the
And
bathroom.
the TSA allowed him to
It's
get on
just
board
a
a plane.
biohazard issue, the pilot said. We had a passenger
Just
who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta
explosive.
And burn the plane down to the
and
ground.
burn the plane. That's it. That's the only way you get rid of it.
Yeah, they
He
ripped
was
up the
sending
carpet
an
in there.
A-card
Nah, I'm good, bro.
to ATC, or was it ATC, or whoever it was. I think it was ATC. Yeah, he sent the A cards in, and the A card is basically like infecting to the plane. Anyway, or they, just send it back and forth. But he was saying like there is diarrhea all in the cabin,
All the way
of this
through.
aircraft. It was bad.
That's an
Imagine
unhealthy
being that
amount.
passenger. Would you get off the plane first or last once it lands?
I'm the first one off that thing.
Yeah, no, I'm out. I don't even get my luggage.
I'm not
I don't-
waiting.
I don't.
If I could get down to the luggage compartments, that's where I'd
I'll
go.
pick it up 2 days later. I don't care.
You said all bets
What?
is off. It's a wrap.
That's right.
Why couldn't he have just
Right
gone to the
there.
toilet? Don't they have toilets on the airplane?
Yeah, he didn't make it. He
Yeah.
walked
He didn't
through
make it,
getting
yeah.
to there. It didn't make it.
Yeah, he held his finger on the trigger too long.
It says the incident came a week after Air Canada apologized to 2 passengers who were booted from a flight from Seattle to Montreal because they complained about being made to sit in seats covered in vomit.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all need Jesus.
Yep, not doing it.
That's a good one to end on.
Jay Boots, what'd you learn?
Oh. I learned that Like, why can't you just go to the bathroom like a person?
Like a person.
Like, what did I learn? I don't know. Like, I'm so off. I'm on edge right now. My rights have been violated.
I'm on tilt.
I'm
if
emotional.
you got the bubble guts, just stay home.
Just stay home. Peyton, did you learn anything good?
Doggy bags are there for a reason.
Oh, that would have been terrible. Just seeing a guy walking with doggy bags.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Barf bags.
Oh, man. That wouldn't have sent him back.
I feel horrible for the guy. I couldn't imagine the
Lady D.
He didn't make any
anything?
friends.
You said, what did I learn?
Yeah, what'd you learn?
I learned that the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Tide Roll, is the best team in SEC history. Period.
I just don't think so.
Maybe
you're not
the
selling it
best
very
ever
well.
in the ACC or SEC. Maybe
Sounds
even
like
the
I have
best in
some
the
haters
ACC.
coming through.
But
They're all right in Montgomery.
the best in Montgomery, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa.
You know what I learned? I learned that if you didn't watch the Why I'm Angry podcast tonight on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, you missed out.
You sure did.
Sure did.
That's right. That's right. Get on our website at whyimangry.com and get some of that merch. And
Get that merch.
That's right. Hit that merch.
March.
Remember to follow, like, and share the Why I'm Angry podcast across all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast. The Why I'm Angry podcast ends now.